I began making jam sessions about 3 years ago. Here is such a situation with jam sessions in Moscow that administration of clubs is interested to attract public and to make some business. That means that they cannot invite all musicians who want to play. So the jam sessions are a sort of concert. And I wanted to make it easy and equal for less experienced students and more experienced. So they could play together and to grow musically. I didn't have any serious purposes, but I feel the situation from my own insights. That was always a big problem for me, to cross the scene, to come out for a jam session. No one pushed, no pulled me. There was no one beside me who could tell, cheer up, sit in, you'll play it. And I strained myself. I was sitting aside, green with envy that others were playing. And I knew that really I can play the same, not worse, maybe better. Nevertheless, I always had a psychological barrier. And indeed, this is one of the most serious problems of musician. Not technique or fingering or some extraordinary accords or harmonies. And the main thing is knack of catching yourself by the throat and saying, no, I will go and I will play. I know my students will never confess. Most of them will never own up. They'll say, welcome, cool. But at the last moment something will suddenly happen. Headache or else. A guy gives in to himself and invents an excuse or something like that. Unlike jam sessions in commercial clubs, they can use creeps that I've made for them before. During these 3 years, I was writing harmonies in B flat, E flat, and C. There are no melodies. If they don't know melody, I play myself. If they know, okay. But they have enough skill already to read and improvise, because the guys are not greenhorns. They've played in the bands for a long time and can manage improvising. Better or worse, but all of them can do it. So, as I think in the final analysis, we've got two main things. First is to overcome psychological barrier, and the last but not the least is just to play for your own pleasure. Not because someone told you that you must, that you have to pass this tune and these and plus 10 more, and you must know them. No, we're meeting, open our fake books. So what shall we play now? We go after feeling and play what we have in heart now. As for me, I get a great satisfaction of my jams.
My name is Vitaly. Firstly, I studied as a classical musician and then moved to jazz faculty. Classical education is very useful for a jazz musician. A lot of great jazz musicians begin with studying classics. Jazz education is extremely new for Russia. Yes, there are several colleges that began jazz trend long ago, but as a whole, in Russia it only begins. Not all colleges have jazz and pop department. The town where I'm from, there was not. This is why I had to study classical guitar. Then I moved in Moscow and quickly understood what is mine and began playing jazz.
Indeed, I like my pedagogical activities. Formerly, I preferred working as an accompanist in jazz college, mostly with brass instruments. That was also a good experience for me. Now my best delight is to give my experience to my students. Well, maybe practicing with them is a good thing, but I'm not sure they do need that this much. Guys who come are quite grown-up people. Some of them graduated a classical college, then some other college, then they got gigs. Not all of them like this, but a lot. So they have their own vision of this music. They maybe don't like something around. Most of them can practice themselves very successfully, but if I can help, of course, I do that. Besides, they have teachers on their main instruments with whom they're always in close contact. Plus, there is a great quantity of schools they may find through internet and so on. Actually, the only reason to go to college is to get a diploma confirming that, yes, you can read and write. As far as to cite myself as an example, well, I don't think I'm a person for whom they pray and sing songs as for idol and think before go to bed. In the first instance, I do want to be a true friend for them, to make a friendly support, to say what is good or bad, and to give some forces. It seems to me that nowadays this is the main predestination of a teacher. Indeed, there is a lot of information around now. This is in the past when it was necessary to have one, the only teacher, and to go to his lessons and look in his mouth. And now what? You don't like him, go to another, and still be counted at previous. And we are back to the first question again. I'm sure at home all of them play off genius. The same was I. At the time I was studying, at home I'm the best. But when coming to exam, you feel like a hair, darken your eyes. And so on and so forth. Always you need a simple friendly support, so that you know when you play out that there is one person who believes in you, who likes the way you play, who may appreciate your work from the up of his life experience and his musical experience. Human factor, a thing that existed always, the basis of higher education in ancient Greece, considered to be the relationship between a teacher and his apprentice. So am I think.
My name is Mansour, I play trumpet. I'm a first-year student on jazz department. At first I've passed a classical course and now I'm on a jazz one. Formerly, jazz and improvisation were inaccessible for me, and owing to jams led by Marina, it became much and much closer to me. I always loved jazz, but there were no jazz colleges in my town, and I had to graduate a classical one. So now I have to make up for it. Playing on a jazz station gives a musician the opportunity to self-express, to meet people and also to relax, not think and only make your own music. The amount of standards is huge, and as far as I was a classical man, now I don't know too much. Yes, by the way, it's necessary to know a lot of standards if you want to do well on jam sessions.
I adore mathematics, and I'm sure it's the base of our life. As to affinity of music and mathematics, it's not my statement. And again, back at the time of ancient Greece, where music was started as a subject of science. Several theories existed then, a theory of acoustics, a theory of musical keys, and a theory of harmony. Pythagoras, a prominent mathematician, we know him till our school time, he invented a theory of musical keys. Pythagoras and his students invented intervals on the base of proportional division of strings. And if I'm not mistaken, then Euclid explored and developed this theory. Everything is bound. What I think in music, if you keep your mind in cold, you may calculate absolutely any note, play precisely everything, and it is a subject to anyone. On the other side, it doesn't work for some time to play with cold mind and quite hot. Yes, I made a translation of the greatest interview of John Coltrane. He's such a magnetic personality, his music is a shock and thunderstruck, and he himself is an explained person for musicians of different generations. And those musicians who played with him, many of them are alive and still play. Every time they speak about him as of icon. In the light of this magnificent person, it's difficult to speak about your own tremendous and great openings. Of course, something new appears from time to time in my life, but it seems to me that it happens every day, because you store knowledge all the time. But I think it's the same for all musicians. This is why it's difficult for me to say some particular landmarks in my life, so as I could say, at this time I found some extraordinary accords, and since that time, just do your everyday work and you'll make your new openings.
Any jam session is a cause to meet for musicians. They play for their own pleasure. There are a lot of clubs and places in Moscow where musicians get together and play, but some, as me, for instance, are confused to go there. I feel I haven't grown up for serious jams. But of course I need practice, and these training jams are godsend for me. During these jams we feel very comfortably free and friendly to each other. Not strained as it is a lecture, lesson, exam, we just come to see each other, to have tea and enjoy playing.
My daughter Naomi is something special in my life. I can divide my life on before her and then. That was a reappraisal of values and my own personality, which happened with me. I was more self-confident, I was more egoistical. It's human, of course, to be egoistical, more or less. Simply I feel an amazing difference. There were some things before that I had to think over, to do or not do. Now I will easily give back all, with no greed nor envy. Maybe one and only love I have that I cannot share with, that is my passion to my instrument. Yes, this is why she plays another one. But this is also not without purpose, because primordially I wanted that there would be someone beside me who will henceforth play and improvise together with me, and with whom we'll have an artistic and music unity. We began slowly when she was 2.5. I put her by the instrument and began to show keys. The first one was C, and I taught her to find the main note of the scale. It seems that I'm planning her life a little bit, but there is no pressure from my side. I know if it wasn't to her liking, she would display persistence and show her character. And on the whole, it seems to me that she's in good progress. I'm satisfied, and as she's growing more and more, I feel I'm growing together with her. Since the time she was born, I began a new life. I mean, that one I had before lost any significance to me, as if I start from the beginning with her, making first step, then learning first letter, then playing first note. I remember when she was first year at school, I attended her to flute lessons, and I even learned fingering on flute and the state of embouchure, so I could help her. Later I forgot everything, of course, because playing particular instrument indeed needs everyday trainings. I try always to be not far away from her, and this gives me gives me great benefit indeed. And I hope she also get bonuses from our unity. As far as there are very few cooperations of that kind we have around. The plan was to get classical education as a foundation for future on flute and subsequently learn alto saxophone on jazz department. On alto saxophone she is now beginning step by step, and on flute she is in good form on my opinion, almost virtuoso. I wish her as a musician to have a full artistic life, the right understanding and feeling of music, of jazz music we love so much, and as a person to grow such features as responsibility, carrying out her duties with people, kindness to people and to me.